So today I am going to show you how to decorate a Ninja Turtle cake. This is super easy. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's very easy to make, and all you really need is your cake and buttercream icing. You don't need any fancy fondant decorations or anything. It's all just icing. I did a purple Ninja Turtle, but you can do whichever Ninja Turtle is your favorite. You can change the mask out to red or orange or blue if you want to change which Ninja Turtle you're doing. So keep watching, and I'm going to show you how I decorated this super cute little Ninja Turtle. Okay, so the first thing that I'm actually going to do is make my buttercream frosting and get my frosting dyed black that I want to be black for the cake. The reason I want to do this first is because it actually gets a little bit darker and more black if you let it sit for a little while, because black is kind of one of those hard colors to get when you are coloring buttercream. So I'm going to make that first so that it can sit for a little while I get everything else ready. I also have my cakes done already and they are cooling. I'm letting them cool on this wire rack for 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'm actually gonna pop them in the freezer so that they're nice and cold and easy to work with when I ice them. Okay, so I don't need a crazy amount of black icing because it's mainly used for the outlines. So I just put some in a bowl, about this much. It's pretty thick right now, but I can add a little bit of milk if I need to thin it out. And I'm going to use this black Wilton food coloring. And then the trick to making it a little bit more dark, because sometimes when you use this, it almost looks purple, is to put some cocoa powder in it. There are other ways to do this if you don't want the cocoa taste, but this is just the way that I like to do it. And I'm just gonna mix it in with this guy. So now it is like a brown color, and I'm gonna add some of the food coloring now. These are a little messy, and if you get it on your hands, it does like dye your hand. So it looks very black in here, but it just ends up looking gray or almost purpley if you don't add the cocoa. So I added a little bit on top, and then I'm gonna mix it in with the hand mixer again, and then add more if I think I need to. Okay, so I added a bit more, and I also added a little bit more cocoa powder and a little bit of milk because it was just not a very good consistency. And it definitely is dark, but it kind of looks more like a dark gray or almost a dark purple, but I am happy with where it is, and now I'm just gonna let it sit for a while and it will get a little bit more black. So I popped my cakes into the freezer so that they get nice and cold before I start icing them. And while I wait for them, I'm going to get all my different colors of buttercream ready. So I did the black already, and then I need to do a tiny bit of red just for the mouth. And then I also need to do purple, again, not too much, but it's for the mask, so a little bit more than the red. And then the color I need to make the most of is the green for obviously the whole face. I'm going to be covering the entire cake in green, so I'm gonna need quite a bit of that. So for the red, I have the red here that I'm going to do, and then I have Kelly green for the green and violet for the purple. Obviously, you can do whichever Ninja Turtle you want to do. So if you're doing the red or the orange or the blue, you would just do that instead of the purple. I am making this for my boyfriend, and I had to kind of sneakily ask him the other day who his favorite Ninja Turtle is without making it obvious that I was making him a Ninja Turtle cake. And he said the purple one is his favorite. And I'm glad I asked because I would have assumed it was the red one. So the purple one, it is. So I mixed up my red in this bowl. It's kind of like a cherry red almost. And then I'm gonna set that aside. Here's my purple. I really love the color that this purple is. So if you're going for the purple, it is the Wilton Violet. And it's quite a vibrant purple. I really like the color of it. Okay, and then lastly, here is my green. I love how this color turned out as well. So I would definitely recommend the Kelly green. I think it looks exactly how the Ninja Turtle green should look. So I'm very happy with that. So this does take quite a bit of buttercream icing, so I would recommend doubling or even tripling your buttercream recipe when you make it so that you don't have to go back and make more in the middle of icing your cake. I also always put a tiny bit of white aside so that if I didn't make enough of the red or the purple or the black or even the green, I can mix up a little bit with the leftover white, and then I don't have to like remake more of the white buttercream to dye it the color. Okay, so I got all my buttercream ready, and now I'm going to work on the actual assembly of the cake. So I have 3 of my cake rounds, so I'm going to be doing 2 inside layers. So to get ready for that, I made some chocolate fudge frosting for the middle. There's so much of the vanilla buttercream on the outside. I think it tastes good to have something different on the inside. But if you really love vanilla buttercream, you could just go crazy and make the inside vanilla buttercream. And then I am going to make 1 layer have some little Reese's Pieces chunks and 1 layer have some Oreo chunks. So I also cut up some Reese's Pieces and some Oreos to add to the layers so that they taste amazing. Okay, so as you can see, it is a pretty flat cake. However, in order to get the layers really looking good and stacking nicely, you want to trim the top off so it's completely flat. So you're gonna wanna get a serrated knife, and basically I'm just gonna explain how I do it before I actually do it, so don't worry, I'm not gonna cut it like this. You're gonna put it down on your surface and put 1 hand on top while the other hand is cutting it. I know some people think it is a bit of a waste to cut off the top, but it isn't very much cake, and it also is great if you want to make sure that the cake tastes right. If you are selling it to someone or giving it to somebody and you don't wanna, and it's a new recipe, or you just wanna make sure it tastes good. So I'm gonna be assembling my cake on a just plain white cake round. I got like a giant pack of these at Michael's. They don't cost very much. You could also just use something that you already have at home, or make this out of cardboard. It's just a piece of cardboard that is white. So I'm just gonna put a little dollop of icing in the middle and stick my first cake onto there. This is my favorite thing to use when decorating cakes. So I'm gonna put a little dollop in the middle. Make sure it's nice and centered on there, because once you start layering it, you're not gonna be able to move it around. And now I'm going to just add my chocolate fudge icing all around and then sprinkle some of the Oreos. Okay, I'm gonna get my next cake layer and do the next one. Now this layer, I'm going to do my Reese's Pieces. Okay, so I cut off my last layer, and for this one, because you want the top to be really nice, I'm going to stack it like this so that the bottom is on top. Okay, now I'm gonna take my green and I'm gonna do a crumb coat. So basically, ice the entire thing with the green icing, but it doesn't need to look perfect. It's just to get it all together. Okay, so obviously it does not need to look good because we are going to be covering the whole thing. And I'm going to pop this in the fridge while I get my decorating bags ready so that it hardens up nicely. Okay, so I printed off just a Ninja Turtle stencil. I just Googled Ninja Turtle stencil and I put it into a Word document and just made it the right size for what cake I was doing. And then I am going to cut it out so that I can use it as a stencil. It's not that tricky of a shape. If you didn't have a stencil, you could probably just freehand it, but I prefer to have something to kind of use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the eyes white because I'm just kind of putting a little bit of white buttercream where the eyes are going to go, and then I'm going to outline everything with the black. So what I did is I cut out the mask part and then I cut out the eye part. Okay, so at this point you want to kind of figure out which side you want to be the front. I had like a little part where there was like a tiny bit of hole in the cake. So I'm gonna make that part the back and make this part the front. So you want to put all the pieces kind of onto it to make sure that they're in the right spot. So that's gonna be the top, that's gonna be the mask, and that's gonna be the bottom. And then I'm just gonna put a toothpick into the mask so that it kind of stays in place and I can remove the other pieces. So I have my mask here, and I'm going to fill in the eyes with the white. Then I'm actually just gonna remove this for a second, and when you're doing the eyes, it doesn't matter if you make them bigger than they're gonna be because we're gonna put the stencil back on to do the black. Okay, then I'm gonna put this back on top. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna grab my black buttercream icing and the Wilton Tip 16. It is super tiny, the hole on top. I want the black to be nice and detailed, so I'm using the smallest one so that I can make it as detailed as possible. And I'm going to put this in a decorating bag. And I always put my decorating bag into a cup to fill it, and I have my trusty Ninja Turtle cup today. And I'm gonna put this in there. I always just push it down and then give it a turn once you get all of it out of there. And then put a rubber band at the top. Okay, so the black is going to be used to outline the mouth, the eyes, the mask. I think that's everything. So I'm going to do all of my black outlining. So what you're gonna do with this tip is you're gonna squeeze, go down, do a little dollop, and then go back up, and just continually do that in the line. And once you remove the template, you can kind of go back and fix it up a little bit. This is kind of just to get a rough outline so that you can fill everything else in. We can always go back and fix it later. Okay, so I've roughly outlined the mask and made the eyes. So next I'm going to take the sections that I cut out of the eyes and just place those over top and do the inside with the purple. And I've decided that I'm gonna do the mask all the way down the sides and make the end of the mask on the whiteboard. So I am not going to put the edges right here like they were on my template. So I'm gonna do my purple and then go all the way down the sides with the purple. I'm gonna do the exact same thing as the black, but I'm going to use the tip that is one size bigger. This is Wilton 18. Okay, I got my purple and I'm ready to go. so I did all of the purple. I'm gonna pop this in the fridge so that it can get hardened while I get my black and red ready to do the mouth. Okay, so for the mouth, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna outline it with the black, then fill it in with the red. I kind of cut out a stencil of the mouth that I'm going to use to kind of help guide me. For the black, exact same as before. And for the red, I have it in a decorating bag with the same tip that I had for the purple icing. Okay, so I've kind of roughly just put where the mouth is going to be because after I do the green, I want to go back with the black and fix everything. So I just kind of roughly did the mouth and the black. And now I'm going to get a piping bag and fill it with my green icing. And I'm going to do all the remaining areas with my green. For the green, I'm going to use the same tip as I did for the red and the purple. It's going to be a little bit time consuming, but I'm going to do all the rest of the cake in the green. Then when that's done, I'm gonna go back in with the black and touch up all of the outlines. Okay, so I have all the green done. It took a very long time. It's very easy, but very time consuming. And now I'm gonna go back with my black and finish off all the edges and fix all the details. Used my black and I went back and I just touched up around everything and I am happy with where it is and I am good to go. This cake is really easy to make. It's just a little bit time consuming. It takes a long time to do all the little dollops, but definitely worth it. It looks great in the end. Thank you so much for watching how I made this Ninja Turtles cake. You can easily change the mask to any color to do your favorite Ninja Turtle. If you like this video, make sure to like and you can subscribe and check back every Wednesday for another baking tutorial. Thank you for watching.